Honey, honey, honey.
Spiro. There you are.
Oh, it's on me.
It's on you. Here, actually, I have a mic. I'm trying to renew because we never.
I'm not wearing it.
Stop cursing.
All right.
Stop cursing.
Grr.
Why are we on?
That's what I just said to her.
So much. Wait, what's going on?
Huh?
I'm sorry.
He's
Yeah.
Wait, tilt it. No, no, no.
What is it?
I am guilty of being.
Yeah.
Oh,
He
okay. For the meeting.
was on.
Wait, so it's on
So,
now?
The PCP and not everybody favors him. He and his husband are living near my house. And who the hell? He's into everything. I don't know what's project relations.
Wonderful. Oh, wait, I see.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's get started. I believe
Thank you.
Gabor has a long presentation for us.
It's only 4 hours. It's okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy. No, but it's a good presentation. Always enjoy seeing it. As the mission and the goal is so important. Thank you all for coming. As you guys know, really quickly, this is the month of November and Thanksgiving is in a couple of weeks. We are taking a different route than we have in the past with all the food pantries and everything coming up and everyone doing their own Thanksgiving food drives. We will still be collecting, and we will be dropping stuff off at St. Pat's Church. I will be doing some pickups at Greenville Schools on the 17th, and the Greek Church will be providing a couple of gift cards again for people in need. Colleen, thank you for hosting us today.
You're very welcome.
Did I not get the memo? I'm not on the list.
No.
Is it possible?
Sign.
Oh, man, I feel like I got fired. They were preparing, Donna. So Colleen, I will hand it over to you really quick.
Oh, I just wanted to welcome you to St. Rocco's Church. I don't know if you guys have ever been in this room. If you came to the feast, you probably were in this room. This is where the pasta pavilion is. And does anybody know how many meatballs we make for the feast of St. Rocco?
28,000.
How many?
3,000?
No. How many? You're closer. 6,000.
Wow.
So Lydia wins a mug. I brought a mug.
Oh.
But anyway, the church was built in 1937. Before that, the Italian parish was they had a makeshift church down in the Orchard section, and then a lot of the Italian families and immigrants they brought their skill here to St. Rocco's Church and they built this. So if you have a chance, the church is open every day from 9 to 5. Please, you're welcome to walk in and just be quiet because some people just drift in through the day to pray. And we have a ton of statues in there. It's an old school Italian parish. We're the actual only official Italian parish in the Diocese of Rockville Center, which is on Long Island. So that's that. And the food pantry that we have is underneath the actual church. It's in the church basement. And the food pantry has been there ever since I have, so for about 25 years. We have a food pantry, and we work with the other food pantry, St. Patrick's also, and we coordinate with Nosh. Nosh was here over COVID for some time, and our pastors who run the churches, they're Augustinian monks. They're from Austria, and they live at St. Patrick's, and they actually run St. Rocco's, St. Patrick's, and St. Hyacinth. And our pastor is Father Daniel. So now I'll send it back to Spiro. So
And
thanks for coming, and there's coffee in Danish right there.
just part of the requirements, miss, there's no bacon, so we can complain that-
Saving that for Glengarry.
that there's no cover.
Yeah.
That's the other thing, really quick, I'll get into that. Next month, we will be at Glengarry for our IAC holiday party. So we looked into different venues, I gotta stand up.
Yeah.
We looked into different venues to try and hold another IAC breakfast. Unfortunately, pricing has gotten out of control. We don't have insurance. Pricing has gotten out of control, so we will be doing it at the, at Glengarry. They are eager to feed us. So they're putting, their chef was supposed to be away, he canceled, he postponed his trip, so he can be there
Feed
to cook
us?
for us, yes.
Oh.
We have a record. Yeah.
Cool.
So it should be a great time, in the spirit of things, the last couple of years, we've been fortunate not to charge the members. So we wanted to do something similar again this year, so when we started getting back pricing, it didn't make sense. So Glengarry graciously said that they would pay, we'll pay. Host us, so we will be going there. If you guys want, next month, we can bring, in the spirit of things, a unboxed toy, which will help with our milk and cookies, youth bureau Christmas shopping. So any toy would be appreciated, don't wrap it, leave it, unwrapped, this way we know what age group and all that good stuff. Without further ado, my
Thank you.
neighbor.
I knew I was unpopular, but I had no idea of the extent. Cost me big money. Oh, wow.
On there?
Hello.
Is that you?
So we are going to talk about Rotary. Before I do that, you know, Rotarians, what? Yeah, thank you. Rotarians have famously short attention span. It's 25 seconds, not necessarily consecutive. So I'm going to test your attention span with a 1-minute video. Here it is.
It is the world's largest, biggest service organization.
Rotary is 1.2 million members strong. And when you have an idea and you want to support a group of people or an individual, there'll always be somebody in Rotary who will join you in your quest.
I've found Rotary to be filled with people who are engaged and interested in a diverse array of subjects and people.
It's love. You gotta love people. You gotta love service. You have to love this great organization. I've never met a Rotarian that I get that feeling from.
Rotary service. And you don't come to Rotary to get something out of it. You come to Rotary to put something into it. And once you put something into it, you will get something out of it, but it won't be what you expect. It'll be better.
And it all started with this politically challenged Chicago lawyer who felt lonely. And he came up with an idea to ease his loneliness. He convinced 3 of his colleagues to meet him in his office once a week and keep it from their wives too, until 1989 when all the wives were invited. But during those meetings, they referred business to each other, they socialized, and most importantly, they discussed ways of helping the community around them. Now, this felt really good. And other people started to do this. They formed Rotary clubs. And since they rotated the meetings with the different offices that they owned, and since they were lawyers and had no idea how to name an organization, they called it Rotary. And the name stuck. And it started that people around them started new clubs, and then in the area and nationally, then internationally. And fast forward today, this is the world's largest charity organization. The map on the lower left has the blue areas. All the blue areas have Rotary clubs. Yes, you see it right on the bottom. Antarctica has 2 Rotary clubs, one Spanish-speaking, one English-speaking. And there's only a few people living in Antarctica. But it really spread out because of this basic idea of this lonely bald guy who was called, by the way, Paul Harris. It is not a top-down, but a bottom-up organization. So on the top are the individual Rotarians who join these clubs. And the clubs are the members of Rotary, and the clubs decide everything. Whatever the clubs want to do, everybody under the clubs are designed to have the clubs. So the clubs are on top. The clubs are organized into districts, districts into zones, and the zones make up Rotary International. The districts, just to give you an idea, our area, you can see Long Island is one district. Very exciting name, 7255 is the name of our district. Again, naming is not the thing. And there are other districts around us. Us Rotarians try to, or should, conduct ourselves by this 4-way test. If you say yes to all 4 questions, you're okay to say or do whatever you want to do. The first one being, is it the truth? If it's truthful, you go ahead and do it. Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build good will and better friendship? And finally, will it be beneficial to all? The history of this, I have another program on this. This is the core test of a Rotarian, and every Rotarian should really live by these 4 tests. And this makes us hopefully do the right thing. We do service in 5 avenues: vocational, club, community, youth, and international. Since it's only a 4-hour presentation, I cannot go into vocational, club, and youth. But I'm going to show you examples of community and international. All the good things that we do is in these 7 areas of focus: peace building, conflict prevention, disease prevention and treatment, bringing water and sanitation and hygiene, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, community economic development with microloans, for example, and the newest one is environmental. Now, all this costs money, lots of money. So Rotary, being the biggest organization, has $1 billion foundation. And all that money is prepared to be helping the clubs to do their work. So when the clubs fundraise and have some money, this foundation will match those dollars so they can do better doing good in the world. One of the biggest achievements recently of Rotary, recently meaning the past 25-ish years, is eradicating polio. Polio, as you remember, and some, if you don't, then you are too young, was a crippling disease also in the US, endemic in the US. And with the help of the World Health Organization and very rich donors like Bill Gates and his father, the job is almost done. It's 99% eliminated from the entire world. It was a humongous effort. And it is still going on, because if it's not finished, then polio virus travels well and it comes back. These are the only 2 endemic countries, Afghanistan and Pakistan. They are very hard to get into and do this job, but the job will be done. It took billions of dollars from Rotarians and from donors. I had the great fortune of being able to participate in a small way and went to Uttar Pradesh, North India, and did the inoculation of children once, and it was a fantastic experience. I highly recommend to everybody. Another program that I'm very involved with, it's not as huge as polio, it's much smaller, is Sustainable Cambodia. I did 6 trips there. If you can spot, that's Jackie Yannick, that's Spiro's employee here in Glen Cove. And we went there. I sponsored this was the first child I'm sponsoring on my third child, their education. This is a water pump that I had a small part of bringing there. This is Jackie distributing clothes for the kids that we brought and enjoying the beautiful little ones. This was
Jackie know you're
a,
showing pictures of her?
sorry?
Does Jackie know you're showing pictures of her? Because I don't want to hear it later.
So don't
You
tell
didn't
her.
ask her.
This was a giveaway of water filtration systems at one of the trips. And this was a giveaway of bicycles to kids. These bicycles are not for fun. These bicycles to go to school. There are no roads and there are no school buses. So the kids either walk 10 kilometers or bike. And that was the whole idea behind that. Going back to the community service, the Glen Cove Rotary Club for many years do a big golf outing, and from that money, they take care of kids who otherwise would walk around all winter long in jumpers or in hoodies instead of a winter coat. And they go out and they purchase them proper winter attire. And most of these kids have this for the first time in their life. Believe it or not, in our community. So that's a fantastic program. We stole it, by the way, from them, and we are doing the same thing. We call it Gloves for Hugs. Another one, the food pantry was mentioned by Colleen. My club is collecting food for the food pantry regularly. This was another project in Glen Cove that I had the good fortune of spearheading. This was Rotary rides for seniors that needed transportation from and to doctor's appointments. Now it's taken over by our member. Where are you?
Phyllis.
Phyllis, where are you? Now it's Phyllis. That brings us to today's subject, which is Gift of Life. Gift of Life is another humongous program which started with one person. And that one person, at age 20-something, did not know that, actually learned that a child is dying. That child was not here. That child was in Africa, in Uganda. A 5-year-old little girl who had a congenital heart defect, and there was no way that she's going to survive. She was going to go blue in the lips and in the fingers and die if someone does not heal her heart. See, this guy was 20-something, so he did not know that bringing a child from Africa to Long Island and performing open heart surgery and sending her home happy and healthy is impossible. So he just did it. He brought the child here. Open heart surgery was performed, and the child was good for life. She came with her father, and when this young guy took her back to the airport, and this young girl was bouncing around, happy and healthy again, the father took all his English that he knew, and with tears running down his eyes, he said, "Thank you, thank you, thank you." Ladies and gentlemen, this man is here today, and this man is Robbie Donno. Please welcome Robbie Donno. Yes.
General heart defect.
down
are the
arrow.
number one birth defect in the world. In 1 in every 100 births, there's a child who is born with a congenital heart defect. And 93% of those children are born in a country that can do nothing to treat. I am Rob Rail, the CEO of Gift of Life International. And we are a nonprofit organization with our mission to develop sustainable pediatric cardiac programs and to empower doctors and nurses in their own countries to take care of their own children. There are times when certain parents grab your heart. Recently in Armenia, I met a mom, Andrea, the little girl, Jessica, and she, by herself, took her daughter to 3 different hospitals and pleaded for them to help the child. And the first 2, she was not successful. But the last one was during our trainings.
When she played, the heart is beating very, very fast. I was very scared. I don't know what to do.
And the fact that you can help that mom realize the dream she has to bring care to her child, that's why you don't stop. That's why you keep on going to the next country and the next country. That's why you keep on asking people to help you, whether it is with their time or their money, because you can save a child's life if you have the resources to do so. Every parent in every country who desperately needs cardiac care for their child should be given the opportunity for treatment and feel that joy of walking away with a healthy child into a brighter future.
That tells you, that story goes on all throughout the world. People, parents who have no place to turn, their children are dying, and somebody shows up, usually from a Rotary Club or a doctor, to say, we can help your child. And this very dynamic thing happens. We brought Grace over here. She was 5 years old. That's Grace now. That picture was taken in 2019 when I was in Uganda at a mission trip where we were operating on children. And she is now an agricultural economist. She went to college. She is the poster child for the gift of life, and has started a farming business and advocates for kids and is our ambassador throughout the world. She's just absolutely unbelievable. The moment that Gabor described at the airport when her dad fell in my arms was a moment of epiphany for me. That changed the direction of my life. And it's kind of interesting how we sit there and say, when you give, you get back. The direction of my life took an entire turn, because since Grace, there was a second child and a third child. And this year, through the network that we built through the Rotary, we will celebrate sometime after the first of the year our 50,000th child. We are doing 5,000 surgeries a year. So Rob Railman, our CEO, comes up with every 99 minutes a child's life is being saved. That's Grace. Now that was at a press conference a year ago.
Down arrow.
Down arrow. And you are. There you go. The second child was Rabina. Rabina is from the bush. Grace was an educated kid. Rabina is now working at the Uganda Heart Institute, where we have now developed a fully self-sustaining cardiac program. We had, for 10 years, 11 years, sent teams 4 times a year to help train the doctors, train the nurses. We got the government involved. They provided the infrastructure and the room. So we are teaching the people to do their own surgeries in their country. When Rabina was here, the cardiologist at St. Francis Hospital said, Robbie, this is great what you're doing, but the real money is to save them over there, to help them help themselves. Rabina is pictured, that was her in 1976. That's her in the flowered top. I'm holding her grandson.
Oh my God.
So when you sit there and you talk about interceding in somebody's life, you intercede here. If you don't, that life is erased. Whatever would have happened during the course of the next 50 or 60 years is knocked out. And instead, the parents, we always talk about the parents who are facing the certainty of watching their child die. Now all of a sudden, because somebody from 10,000 miles away comes, is celebrating a birthday party and another birthday party and all the birthday parties of life and the school things and the dance recitals and the sports and the marriages and grandchildren. 200 years from now, children will be born because we interceded in this life here. And when you think about how dynamic an impact you can have, I don't know that there's anything more that you can do to make the world change. That's more dynamic than this. Gabor I was gonna start this like an AA meeting. My name is Robbie Donno. I'm a friend of Gabor Karsai.
That's
Gabor
a-
took me to Hungary in 2010. And this is how the system works. I want to go into this because this is kind of important. Glenn Cove, Glenn Head, were very instrumental in the development of the Gift of Life program. Manhasset Rotary was doing one child a year. Then we got high school kids from St. Mary's Church. They sponsored Robina. The president of that Interact Club, which is a junior Rotary club, is now the president of our Rotary Club. He's now 60 years old, John Kennedy. So they sponsored the second kids with a bike-a-thon. And people in the district, Rotary District, that Gabor had described, became interested. So we used to go do programs like this at the Rotary clubs. But they wanted Glen Head. And all of a sudden, we started to grow. We couldn't keep up with the request. So the Glen Head Rotary Club, we got a request to help a child in 1979 from Poland. We needed people who could speak Polish. John Capri of the Glen Head Rotary Club takes me to St. Hyacinth Church with Father Joe Kozlowski. And Irene Pizikowski was the head of the Polish hall here in Glen Cove. And the next thing you know, we had all of these Polish people coming around this kid. And they loved her. They showered this girl, Margot Zata, and the mother, there was a whole life for this girl. She's probably now close to 50 or 60 herself. Then we had a kid from Russia that came to our attention. So Tony Massinio from Stevenson Printing, okay, brings us to Our Lady of Kazan down in Seacliff, right? And all of a sudden, we had a Russian Gift of Life who took care of kids from Russia, Ukraine, and those regions. So the network of Rotary now brings us to all of these other resources, not only here, but also in Uganda. Come in.
Mayor Pam.
Pam and I are good friends.
Yeah, here's a little out of whack.
So now you have this network all throughout the world. We have taken care of children from 80 different countries. The Rotary Foundation helps us fund that. So in your pamphlet, you'll see that we have raised something like $14 million from the Rotary Foundation. So you go to Hungary, and Gabor set me up with the Rotarians there. We had meetings there. They had not gotten a Gift of Life program. And now they have, it's, I think, the largest program in their country where they're saving children every day like this. And this kid is getting a life. So our community people, when you sit there and you look at joining a Rotary Club and doing things, you're impacting people's lives and they have a story. You know, how did your life change when you, and it doesn't matter whether you're doing heart surgery or water projects or feeding people or putting a coat on a kid, because you changed their life. It's an indelible mark that somebody turned around and spent the time to appreciate a circumstance. I'm cold, so you get a kid a coat. I'm hungry, so you feed the food, put food in the food pantries. My child is going to die if I can't get heart surgery. So you get the kid the heart surgery. And these things are very doable because people like us connect because we have empathy. Empathy is the ability to put yourself in somebody else's shoes and appreciate what that need is. And passion to convert that empathy into an action. We have to help that kid. So all the things that we do are geared to that. So the Glen Cove Rotary Club, how do we raise money? We do matching grants with the Rotary Foundation, but some money has to come from someplace. So like the Glen Cove Rotary Club sponsors a walk in Morgan Park every year. And that now raises money, and they put it into a pot, and we combine it with other things and get the Rotary Foundation. So this is more than part. This is insanity, you know.
My idea, my idea.
It's his idea, you know, because frankly, I consider
That's why I don't
myself
have anybody sitting next to me.
relatively saying, you know, let's jump out of an airplane. No, okay. So we did, this jump for life.
Did you jump out of an airplane?
I jumped out of an airplane
There you go.
and screamed all the way down. And there's Jackie on it. Jackie.
No, no,
No, that's
that's not Jackie. That's
That's Melissa
Melissa.
Rhodes.
Melissa Rhodes.
There we go.
Jackie jumped too.
Oh, she's jumped. already.
That's Betsy. Betsy jumped. Listen, everybody, that's it. You're done.
So, you know, the sum total is that we come together, we find resources and find ways to help people. And in the most dramatic circumstances is, you know, a life and death situation. And you find that, you know, in the journey that I've had, this has been the first, Grace came here in 1975. So we're at this 48 years and probably today's November, what, 8th? I think she was operated on November 6th in 1975. She had come here on October 28th. You remember these things because it was such a moment of impact. And being the optimist that I am, I never thought of a downside when it came to these things. So I went to the chapel at St. Francis Hospital, all charged up to sit with the father and, you know, be with him. And when I went into the chapel, I looked into his face, and the pain in his face was excruciating. And I went, oh, Jesus, this might not work. Never thought of that. 4.5 hours we prayed. And there is a moment in time that I've now seen over and over again. The doctor walks to the door and says, she's going to be all right. And you see this great relief from the parents. You've heard all of their stories of how all during their child's life, they would go into the room and bend over to see if they were still breathing, to see if they could feel the breath on their face. And you understand the value of that life. You understand it not only in the victories, but also in the defeats. And I will end with one story to really bring the impact home. There was a little girl, Sarah, who had a lot of problems, very difficult. We sent the team, and this was again in Uganda. And in Uganda, there's a compound where all the families camp out, and they bring everybody, and they have their food, and they stay there for the week while their child is being in some process of the heart surgery. Sarah was a mess, and we finally got the right doctors and the right team to operate on her. And her whole family's there, and they're blowing up balloons, and she's at, we go leave, and she's going into the operation. We come back 3 hours later, and in the back door, her family's leaving with all these balloons, and we're like, what happened? And the nurse told us she never even made it to the operating room. She died. In that moment, you're confused. What are they doing with the balloons? Sarah's last breaths were. They wanted to take the balloons. We're very lucky here because we can go almost any place. But extending yourself, and it doesn't matter whether you're here or halfway around the world, makes an impact on people. Rotary has been this great network for us to use to answer the needs of people in 80 different countries now. And I actually think that we're only at the beginning. I really appreciate your time. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Sure. Yes. That should be good.
I'm just wondering, are there any other
Not really, but you know, what happens is because you're involved with people, and it's kind of funny, they think you can do anything, so they ask. So we ask if we can find a way or a route for somebody to travel. It's not like we only do arts. You know, it's primarily what our organization does, but if we can direct people to the help that they need, then we'll do that. I'm sorry? Okay. Well, dental work, as you know, is important because you can't operate on a child that has an infection.
Exactly.
So a lot of times we have to get their teeth fixed before we can operate. Because that's right. Yes.
Well, I was in city, and the first one, I'm not overbearing, I'm Hawaiian.
Well, we can't talk. Yeah, no, I got it.
But, I just didn't, but, I just want to thank you for starting the program. And I'm continuing the program, not being able to watch this thing, man. That doesn't do the club, but that's what we know. So this one, they're probably going to start.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Look, you don't operate on 50,000 kids because you're all that great. I mean, I get up in the mirror in the morning and look at myself in the mirror. I think I look pretty good until I put my glasses on. And the fact of the matter is that I have been surrounded by really great people. Gabor's one of them. Now, Tony Messina was one of them. His daughter's now involved, Cindy from Stevenson Printing. John Capri and Glenn Head. His son is involved. So this
Jackie
is...
Yannick.
Pardon?
Jackie Yannick.
Jackie Yannick. I mean, other local people, but it's also generational. There is a teacher came up with a saying that I think is very true. Kids are like wet cement. Everything that lands on them makes an impression. So how we behave...
Coming from an Italian, you believe it.
How we behave. Yeah. Well, I'm enamored with the fact that, 6,000 meatballs are made by a lady by the name of Colleen. I mean, I don't know how to compute that, So, but the fact of the matter is that our actions speak for us. It's how you identify. It's not what you say, it's what you do. So my son was with me when I was picking kids up at the airport. And I happen to be in the garbage business. I'm an Italian guy in the garbage business. I do heart surgery on the side, tagline it. So he goes with me to the hospital, and the person that was very instrumental in starting this with me was Frank Rignanti at St. Francis Hospital. So in his mind, as a 6 or 7-year-old, people would ask him, what does your daddy do? And he'd say, my daddy fixes little children's broken hearts. And he used to think that Frank Rignanti was St. Francis. When he found out the truth about us, that I was a garbage man and Frank worked for the hospital, we almost had to put him into therapy. What happened to fixing little kids? But they do, now he's involved in the community and doing all kinds of things. Not because I told him, but because he learned this organically from what we did. So what we do is, congratulations, by the way.
You are very humble, because when I was councilwoman, I was proposing the event. And I decided when I was done doing that, I was going to do the two things that made me join Northern was when I was at a gift of life on the beach, and people just, the doctors were there, the slideshow was fabulous, and people could not donate enough money to help bring children here. I need very simple surgery, like things that are get done, and some of them are far more complicated. So I am a Rotarian. I did join Rotary with the years, and it's just fabulous work done. And you are very humble. I don't think you realize the extent you actually do in the difficult program. Jackie is involved, and the video, name anymore, but and it's just fabulous. And we are taking next week. And that's what hopefully gives us like the finally hope, whatever we do. So,
Manhasset Rotary learned that from you. I mean, this is where you have this exchange. We heard that, you guys are doing it. We call our program Coach for Kids. There's an impoverished area in Manhasset, Gabor may have made a comment before. Can you imagine if there are kids in our community here? Can you imagine in Manhasset,
No.
Manhasset has this image. If there are kids and you sit there and you get them, they taught us a new code. And here you are with these little kids, and they never had a new coat. If they had a coat, it was a hand-me-down from an older brother or sister. Now you're getting your own coat.
And they
What
get
a
to pick
gift,
it out.
you know, and again,
Yeah.
it's not so much about the coats, it's the kindness that comes with it, and it makes an impression, somebody cared about. And that's what really carries you forward. And we do the food pantry, and we do a lot of the same things, and we borrow and do best practices, and that's where the network works so well. So I come to these things to share the idea, to lay it on the table. If you'd like to be involved, we have plenty of events. We had the beach party in Bayville at the Crescent Beach Club. This last year, we had it at the Webb Institute. Was a really fabulous, we called it a Gatsby event. So, there's all kinds of things that you can help with. I was supposed to go to Kosovo this week, actually on Saturday. I'm not going. I was going with a guy who owns a restaurant in Manhasset, Phil Milano. He passed away tragically, a younger man than I am. Of course, everybody's younger than I am. So we're doing a child in his memory, and we'll do a Zoom call with his family and the people in his restaurant, with the mother and parents of the child, so they see what's going on. So we continue to bring those people here. We'll be at Villa Milano on the 16th. At the same time, we have another team going to Uganda on a rheumatic heart disease. We were written up in the New England Journal of Medicine because we discovered how strep has always been known to lead to rheumatic heart disease. And about 5 to 7% of the kids that have strep, which is untreated in developing countries, we were able to identify which 5%. And we were treating them with penicillin. It's not a big deal. During COVID, we couldn't get to this was in Uganda where we screened 102,000 kids. During COVID, we couldn't deliver the vaccines. So we had to figure that out. How are we going to get to these vaccines? The warm and fuzzy Ugandan army is now doing humanitarian work, delivering those vaccines. And, I get a kick out of that because they're not known to be that. So you find ways to do that. You do that through the people, the Gabor car size that are in Uganda. The local Rotary clubs are there. They figure out how to do that in partnership because they want to help their children, and that's the way it works. I'm taking too much of your time. Anything else? Thank you very much. Thank you. Congratulations.
Meeting is yours now.
Thank you. Just to go back to the Dress a Child project. It is an amazing experience. I've done it a couple of times. It's not just a coat. The kids are given a certain amount of money. They walk out of the place with a new jacket, new scarf, new socks. We're seeing that socks are a big thing at this point. Even snow boots. So it's funny how, they work together with Target. We get all the coupons, and these kids are purchasing complete winter package for $100. And the funny thing is, I've been there and seen people take money out of their own pocket to not disappoint the child. If they needed a couple dollars more, it came out of the escorts pocket, and it's just a wonderful thing, wonderful feeling.
Introduction to Robbie has an idea who's here.
Is he really your friend? I mean, he's my neighbor, and I don't admit it.
From my background, usually believe the Fifth Amendment.
My son came home and he goes to me, Dad, I want to jump out of a plane. Now I know where he got the idea from. Oh my God. But yes, we'll do the introductions. I will start. Well, Gabor, you start. Okay. Shoot, you heard that. Let him go. Let him go. Let him go. My name is Spirit Circus. I am the IAC President and Director of Youth Services and Recreation for the city of Glen Cove.
I'm Danielle, sorry, I'm Danielle Pagese Scaiola. I run a foundation that raises money for things that are outside our Glen Cove Public School District, and I'm a councilwoman here.
Carolyn Wilson. Go ahead. All around, all around. She's done a little of everything and has been involved in everything. I'm Colleen Spinello. I represent here the Church of St. Rocco's.
Gately Stevenson Matthews with the Tribute and Honor Foundation, which honors and also supports their veterans.
Sorry?
Jeez.
And your wife's the mayor also?
My wife is aware, my son was very involved.
Oh.
So,
Great.
that's one of the things that I was doing. Everybody. And I thought you think that
John, you want the deputy mayor and
I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with one. Haven't been to a meeting in 5 years.
Right now involved with everything that Carol was on, every committee across the city. Right now, my project is at home, and we're looking at that series.
John Dow is operations director for Carl Levin Center.
Lydia Wen, I represent the library. I just have to leave a little bit earlier. We partnership with Glen Cove High School, and we have veterans event. So I do bring in some wonderful things to look at. We have a Twitter.com project, and it's speaking in Spanish to teach parents how to engage with Twitter.com, which is we have the library to help students. And then in addition to having social case management from Charles Evans, our library. We also work with Stony Brook, our School of Social Work. Information on that English. I'm today. I am treasurer of the IAC, and I also am the second chair of the Chamber of Commerce. And I also work for as the development officer for the Waterfront Center in Wasteland.
Can't hear you. So, anyone have any announcements? Anything coming up?
I do. So I can't remember now. I think it's the fourth annual Turkey Trot is on Thanksgiving. It's a really great day. It's, you know, a low price point. All the money goes back to Education Foundation, which raises money for the school district. Fun, easy way to support the schools. without, well, and getting a little bit of exercise before Thanksgiving, but it's quick. It's like a 10 o'clock, you're done, you're home by 11, and it gets a good crowd. So if anybody wants to join, it's on our website, and I'll send it to you, May, if you can send it out. So thank you.
Just want to say thank you for whoever came to our report fundraiser as well. Good night, one at a time. Much needed money that to back to kids. Sorry.
And worship and the social science in the church side and
Anyone who knows a veteran, Mike Gattaletta, who is Eva Cassell's other half, is on our board, and Eva is on the advisory council. But if there is a veteran who would like a turkey, please reach out to me and I'll make sure they get the information. So that is available to anyone who's a veteran.
And on behalf of the people covered, congratulations, Caitlin, meeting one of our honorees and our leading gallery.
Yeah. So if I could drive home, also a member of our organization, our secretary is Angelina Stanko Stone, who I know is involved with everybody. She is a quiet force, and the operative word is force. We are so blessed to have her, and she was also honored at that event, along with other incredible. Amazing night. Thank you.
All right, see everyone next month at Thunder.
Yeah, thanks, Deb.
Oh, wait, yeah, we're supposed to have a second meeting. I mean, you don't know.
Okay. Here you go.
Right up is saying Brady had.
Here you go. Sorry, threw it at you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this, sorry. Oh, well, I don't know if you want to do it to Spiro or me.
Well, I'll do both, but I just
Oh,
want to make
okay.
sure, you know,
Oh,
making
well,
a
I'm
St.
calling.
Rocco, should I say, I know who you are,
Yeah.
but I'm saying, should I don't know whether you want me to say, you know, it's always great, you know, if I mention Father Dean, the other church, okay. All right, and how okay, so I just say Colleen Spinello, representing St. Rocco's Church. I know it doesn't, all right, COL.
Yeah, and did you guys even Okay. Yeah.
So how
Oh, they're right down by you.
What is the number?
516-238-4033.
They are my keys, yep.
Can I talk for a second? Yeah. After you guys put in the 11-11 at 11, gonna walk over and see the progress of the brand new monument. We didn't have like a shovel in the ground.
Okay, I'm putting
Hi,
your
Colleen.
name.
I'm
This
gonna-
is by A.
Put it in, Andrea.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
No, I finished just saying.
That's fine.
That was perfect.
So all put on that and then. Perfect. Okay. All right. Reggie says hi. Yes. Yeah, good.
So. All right. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
You know that place? We did a veteran skydiving, so I did that like 7 times. Oh. And we did. And, no, but they had a bit. Yeah, right before. We wound up giving him prices counseling because they had the guy.
And 1 week before orange.
Yeah, yeah.
People were signing
We wound up giving his team prices counseling. They were just devastated. You know. Yeah, they said it was a dust devil.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they gave that place up.
Oh, of course you didn't. That's crazy. I'm gonna look it up for you. Okay. Wow. How's everything? Is everything okay? Well, is he back?
He's home,
Oh,
yeah.
good. Okay.
But we have family and healthy.
Wow.
We have, you know, it's not a, it's a night. It's a.
It is. It is. Let's take a quick photo with everybody. Well, at least these guys. Let's get a picture of you guys. Your what's his name about? I'm sorry.
Robbie. Oh my gosh, I had a moment. Oh gosh, look at that. Okay, like that.
Why do you put all these pictures? Everywhere. Constant.
I have.
Ask Robbie if he wants to take a quick photo. I had to stop the video. Did I not stop the video? Did I even record? Tell me I didn't record.
Gabor, may I text you?
Yes, what?
What is your number?
516? You have my number.
I know,
put
but
it
I
in your
couldn't
phone.
find it.